Work is not a curse, it is a calling. This is one of the most misunderstood truths in our world today. Many people wake up every morning with a sigh, dragging their feet into offices, factories, shops, or fields, believing that work is something they have to do simply to survive. They look at work as a heavy burden, something that steals their joy, something that drains them day by day. But the reality is this: work is not punishment. Work is not slavery. Work is not a curse. Work is the very stage where you reveal the greatness that was placed inside you by God Himself. When you look at the word work differently, everything changes. Let's think about it. A bird does not complain when it flies. A fish does not cry when it swims. A tree does not argue when it produces fruit. Why? Because flying, swimming, producing, that is their nature, that is their assignment, that is what they were designed to do. In the same way, you were designed to work. And I don't mean just having a job. I mean expressing the talent, the ability, the unique treasure hidden within you. The reason so many people feel lost in life is because they have confused work with employment. A job is what you are paid to do, but work is what you were born to do. A job is temporary, but work is eternal. Employment is about survival, but work is about significance. When you see work only as employment, you reduce yourself to a paycheck. But when you see work as a calling, you elevate yourself to purpose. Think about the smartphone you hold in your hand. That device did not come out of nowhere. Someone worked to design it. Someone worked to program it. Someone worked to assemble it. Someone worked to market it. And now it serves billions of people worldwide. That is the power of work. It transforms ideas into impact. Now ask yourself, what idea, what gift, what ability has been placed inside of you that the world is waiting for? Let me give you a simple example. A woman wakes up every morning and goes into her small kitchen to prepare food. At first, she thinks it's just cooking, just feeding her family. But one day she realizes this is her gift. Her recipes are unique. Her flavors bring joy to people. She takes the courage to open a little food stall. That stall becomes a restaurant. That restaurant grows into a chain. And soon her food is not just feeding her children. It is feeding a whole community. Did her circumstances change overnight? No. What changed was her understanding of work. She stopped seeing it as a burden and began to see it as a calling. Your work is the evidence of the treasure you carry. If you look closely at your life, you will see signs of what you were designed to do. Maybe you love solving problems that others run away from. Maybe you find joy in organizing what looks messy to others. Maybe you can teach in a way that makes complex things simple. Maybe you can design, build, write, repair, sing, create, or lead. Those are not accidents. Those are the fingerprints of your assignment. And when you embrace them, work stops being hard labor and starts becoming joyful expression. The danger comes when you ignore your calling and chase only after money. If money is the only reason you work, then you will always feel empty even when you earn a lot. Why? Because money is never enough to satisfy the human spirit. You were not designed to live for survival alone. You were designed to live for significance. The greatest fulfillment in life comes not from what you get, but from what you give through your work. Look at the most impactful people in history. They were not the ones who worked only to survive. They were the ones who saw their work as a calling. Think of inventors, leaders, writers, thinkers, builders, healers. They poured themselves into their work, not because of a paycheck, but because they knew their work was a gift to the world. That is why even long after they are gone, their work still speaks. Your work is your signature on the earth. So I challenge you today, stop asking, what job can I get? And start asking, what work was I born to do? Because when you find that answer, you will wake up each morning with energy instead of dread, with vision instead of fear, with passion instead of complaint. Work will no longer feel like chains around your neck. It will feel like wings on your back. And here is the secret. When you commit yourself to your true work, provision follows you. Money becomes the byproduct, not the purpose. Influence becomes natural, not forced. Opportunities come searching for you, because the world is always looking for people who are faithful to their assignment. My friends, work is not a curse. It is the channel through which you unlock your purpose, release your potential, and impact your generation. Don't despise it. Don't run from it. Don't reduce it to just a paycheck. Embrace it as your calling. Because when you do, you will never feel lost again. You will find the path you were always meant to walk. Work is the seed of your greatness. Think about that for a moment. A seed by itself looks small, insignificant, almost useless. You could place it in the palm of your hand and not feel its weight. Yet hidden inside that tiny seed is a tree. And not just one tree, but fruits, branches, shade, and a future forest. That is the mystery of potential. Greatness is never obvious at first. It is hidden within something ordinary. And the same truth applies to your life. Your work may look small today, but it carries within it the greatness you are meant to manifest tomorrow. The tragedy is that most people judge themselves too quickly. They despise small beginnings. They look at their current job, their small business, their hidden craft, and say, "This is nothing. I am wasting my time." But here's the truth. No seed looks like a forest in the beginning. Every great company you admire today started as an idea scribbled on paper. Every great athlete began by practicing alone when no one was watching. Every great leader once stood unnoticed in the crowd. Your present work, however small, is the seedbed of your greatness. Consider the story of a young man who worked as a janitor in a school. Every day, while sweeping floors and cleaning classrooms, he listened carefully to what was being taught. He paid attention to the lessons, the math problems, the science discussions. Soon, he started helping students who were struggling. What started as a simple act of cleaning became an opportunity to educate. Years later, he pursued teaching, then leadership, and eventually he became the principal of the very school where he once mopped the floors. What happened? His work, humble as it seemed, was a seed. He honored it, nurtured it, and from it grew the greatness hidden within him. Your work shapes you before it elevates you. Think about a seed again. Before it can grow into a tree, it must first go underground. It must endure the pressure of soil, the darkness of being unseen, and the process of breaking open. In the same way, your work sometimes feels heavy, hidden, and thankless. But in that very process, you are being shaped, strengthened, and prepared for the greatness that will one day be revealed. If you try to avoid the difficult part of work, you also avoid the transformation it brings. Let's bring it closer to daily life. Imagine a young woman starting her first job in a small bakery. She wakes up at 4 a.m. every day to knead dough, clean trays, and serve customers. At first, it feels repetitive and exhausting. But instead of complaining, she begins to learn. She observes how recipes are made. She experiments with flavors. She learns customer service, time management, and discipline. Slowly, she creates her own unique recipes. Years later, she opens her own bakery, which becomes a household name in her city. What started as a tiring routine became the foundation of her greatness. Her work was the seed. It didn't look like success in the beginning, but it carried the ingredients of greatness all along. Here is the danger: many people uproot their seed too early. They give up when the results don't come immediately. They want success without patience, harvest without planting, greatness without growth. But life doesn't work that way. A farmer never plants today and expects a forest tomorrow. He knows the process takes time: watering, weeding, protecting, waiting. In the same way, your work today may not give you instant recognition or reward. But if you remain faithful to it, consistent in it, and excellent at it, you are planting something that will multiply in your future. Greatness is not a sudden explosion. It is the accumulation of small, faithful works done over time. The musician who plays a flawless concert was once the child practicing scales for hours in a room where no one clapped. The entrepreneur who built a global company was once the young man selling one product to one customer. The writer whose books inspire millions was once the student filling notebooks with drafts no one read. Greatness is hidden in the discipline of daily work. So I ask you, how are you treating your seed? Do you despise your current job because it looks small? Do you neglect your craft because it doesn't yet pay much? Do you ignore your abilities because no one notices them? Or are you watering your seed with effort, faith, and consistency? Because how you treat your seed determines whether it becomes a forest or stays buried underground. And here's the beautiful truth: when your seed grows, it doesn't only bless you, it blesses others. A tree doesn't eat its own fruit, it produces fruit for others. In the same way, your work, when nurtured, will provide opportunities, solutions, inspiration, and impact for people around you. Your greatness is not for yourself alone, it is for your generation. Never underestimate small beginnings. Never despise the hidden stages. Never quit on your work because it feels insignificant. The world you dream of building tomorrow depends on the seed you are nurturing today. Work is not just what you do to get by. It is the soil where your greatness is planted. And if you are faithful with it, one day the world will look at you and see not just a person who worked, but a person whose work became a legacy. Work is the pathway to fulfillment, not frustration. Yet when you look around, most people treat work as if it is their greatest enemy. They complain about Mondays, they drag themselves through the week, and they count the hours until Friday evening, waiting for the weekend to feel alive again. This cycle repeats endlessly, and deep down, many people feel frustrated because they see work as something that steals life instead of something that gives it. But here is the truth. Work was never designed to be the cause of frustration. Work is meant to be the road that leads you into meaning, joy, and true fulfillment. Why, then, do so many feel the opposite? It's because they have separated their work from their purpose. They treat work as a transaction, hours in exchange for money. And when work is reduced to a transaction, it loses its power to inspire. But when you begin to align your work with your true self, when you see your job not just as labor, but as an expression of your assignment, work transforms. It becomes the place where you feel most alive, most useful, and most connected to something greater than yourself. Let me give you an example. A young man works as a mechanic in a small garage. At first, he feels frustrated because it's dirty, noisy, and demanding. He thinks of quitting every other week. But one day, he begins to notice something. When he fixes a car, the owner leaves not only with a repaired vehicle, but also with gratitude, with confidence that their life can move again. Suddenly, he realizes he isn't just repairing machines, he is restoring mobility, giving people back their freedom, their time, their peace of mind. With this new perspective, his frustration turns into fulfillment. His garage later grows into a successful business, not because he chased money, but because he embraced service. This is the secret. Fulfillment is not found in avoiding work, but in finding meaning in it. When you see your work as service to humanity, it begins to feed your soul instead of drain it. Imagine a teacher who enters her classroom. If she sees teaching only as a paycheck, she will soon burn out. But if she sees every child in that room as a seed of the future, if she believes her role is to water those seeds with knowledge, guidance, and encouragement, then every lesson becomes a legacy. She doesn't just teach, she shapes destinies. That realization brings joy deeper than money ever could. Fulfillment comes when your work reflects who you truly are. Each of us was born with unique gifts, passions, and interests. When your daily work aligns with those inner qualities, you feel energized, not exhausted. Think about someone who loves music. If they spend hours composing, practicing, or performing, they may be physically tired, but they feel spiritually alive. On the other hand, if that same person is forced to work in a job that suffocates their creativity, frustration will consume them, no matter how much money they earn. Work that fulfills is work that allows your authentic self to shine. But here's the catch: fulfillment doesn't come automatically. You have to choose it. Many people waste their lives waiting for the perfect job to give them fulfillment, as if joy is hidden in some distant opportunity. But true fulfillment is discovered when you change how you approach the work in front of you. If you pour your heart, your creativity, your excellence into whatever you do right now, you will begin to taste fulfillment, even if you haven't yet reached your ultimate dream. The path to fulfillment begins with faithfulness in small things. Take the example of a street cleaner. To the outside world, this job may look insignificant, even degrading. But imagine a street cleaner who takes pride in leaving the streets spotless, who understands that cleanliness prevents disease, beautifies the community, and brings dignity to the environment. That worker will experience fulfillment because they see their labor as meaningful. And often, that attitude opens doors to leadership, recognition, and greater opportunities. Fulfillment is not about the title of the job. It is about the spirit in which you